It was a quiet summer night 4 years ago. I was sleeping soundly when suddenly a gunshot rang out with a bang, jolting me awake from my dreams. I was completely stunned. The silence around me was terrifying, and I couldn't help but wonder, was this a dream, or was it real? I remember that just now, I seemed to see a man standing outside the window, holding a gun and pointing it at my room, completely motionless. Once I realized what was happening, I screamed in terror and fell right off the bed, feeling like my throat was about to be torn apart. Very soon, my dad rushed into my room. I pointed outside the window and shouted, "Dad! There's someone out there!" My dad hurriedly looked out the window, but there was no one outside. We called the police immediately, and they arrived not long after. They found a bullet lodged in the tree outside our house, and next to it was a note with a drawing of me sleeping in my room, with the word "you" written on it. The police immediately launched an investigation, but there was no news for several days. A few weeks later, in the early hours of the morning, I screamed and fell out of bed again, only to find that the window had been shattered, and a strange wind was howling into the room. My dad rushed into my room again, but there was still no one outside. We quickly called the police again. When the police arrived, they found a bullet lodged in the wall of my room. There was another note by the window, with a drawing of a man holding a gun standing next to my bed, and the word "Jang" written on it. After that, I never dared to sleep in that room again, and moved to another room to sleep. But a few days later, I heard noises at the window again. This time, the police only found another note, which said "Will," and showed a drawing of a man pointing a gun at me while I was sleeping. After several incidents, the police began to suspect that this might be a prank, or that someone was trying to warn me about something. They asked if I had offended anyone. But I really couldn't think of anyone who would do such a thing. The police reminded me to try arranging the words from those notes in order, and see if I could find any clues. They also warned me that the person would definitely come back again, and told me to stay alert. I was so scared that I got goosebumps all over. But the police assured me that if he came back again, they would definitely catch him. They also decided to keep watch near my house, and even placed a mannequin wearing a wig on the bed in my old room. Finally, one early morning, I was woken up again by the sound of gunshots. This time the shots were especially clear, and there were several fired in succession. I sat on my bed, trembling with anxiety for quite a while, until it finally became quiet outside, and the police came knocking on my door. I walked out of my house and saw several police cars parked outside, and a person lying on the ground covered in blood. It seemed that this was the suspect. The police originally intended to arrest him, but he actually resisted with a gun, and was shot dead on the spot by the police. When I got closer, I saw that I had never seen this person before. He was still holding a note in his hand, which read, "Shot to death," along with a photo of a mannequin dressed as me being shot. It turned out that all these events were connected as a premonition of my death. You will be shot. My legs went weak with fear, and I collapsed to the ground. I just sat there staring blankly at that mannequin, my heart filled with terror. Later, the investigation showed that the person who tried to shoot me had no criminal record. He was just an ordinary person. But why would he do such a thing? Who exactly was he? The mystery behind all this still hasn't been solved to this day.